What's good with the YouTube account? Perspective? It's your boy Big Flacco, and I'm smashing, dashing, sliding on through with a whole lot of energy, man. Because we got a breaking exclusive thing that just happened a couple hours ago, man. We're gonna kick off April off on the right track on ACP, and we're gonna get right back to it. Roll, take it over, man.
All right, man. This is from goodwordnews.com. The title is "A Calculated Business Decision. Mexican Mafia member convicted of murder in Paramount." Around noon one day in May of 2016, Hector Velasquez walked to the passenger side of a black Chrysler 300 sedan and leaned out the open window. A crack sounded, and Velasquez staggered back, saying, "He shot me. He shot me." Someone in the Mexican Mafia had wanted Velasquez dead. Who or why was never specified, but a jury found him guilty, found the driver of the car guilty of killing him. Robert Hinojos, 41, was found guilty of Velasquez's murder following a month-long trial that shed light on the workings of the Mexican Mafia, a group of around 140 men who wield enormous influence in the prisons where most of them live and on the street gangs across Southern California. For the shooting, Velasquez prosecutors argued Hinojos earned a place in the Mexican Mafia, giving him the power to collect money from drug dealers and gang members on the streets as well as behind bars. The worst part was that it wasn't even personal, the sub-prefect says. The sub-prefect, interesting. Amy Murphy told jurors. There was no indication that the man had met before the day of the murder. For Hinojos, Murphy said killing Velasquez was a cold, calculated business decision. Hinojos, known as Dopey, went to prison at 19 when he was sentenced to 12 years for an armed robbery. He ended up doing 15 years in total after he was caught smuggling drugs through a Monterey County jail, according to a spokeswoman for the state prison. A member of the Brown Nation, a small Paramount Latino gang, Hinojos earned a reputation in prison as reliable and efficient source of income for several members of the Mexican Mafia, according to testimonies and a former associate of Hinojos, who requested anonymity for fear of reprisals. Hinojos was one of 5 comadres. No, excuse me.
Camaradas?
No, they spelled it wrong. It's supposed to say comrades. High-ranking associates of the Mexican Mafia who ran a collection racket known as the Clique, Spanish for the Clica. According to accounts, the Clique, you can tell it's somebody who's not familiar writing this article. The system was born after a member of the Mexican mob from Rancho Cucamonga, Arturo Turi Estrada, fell out of favor with other members of the organization and was robbed of a vast racket that earned money from nearly every California prison, according to testimony and sources. Hinojos and other associates, men who were barely full members, took over Estrada's operation, collecting the money once paid to him and dividing it among various members of the Mexican Mafia in prison instead of Estrada. Excuse me, guys, allergies are killing. State and federal, in the prison of Estrada, state and federal, according to testimonies and sources. Okay, whatever Turi had, whatever quarters he had, they became the clicked houses, i.e., all the carnales, members of the Mexican Mafia, are going to eat this, one Mexican Mafia associate explained to another in a taped appeal that was transcribed and filed in federal court. The clicked, the system ended in 2015 when members of the Mexican Mafia who had been held for years in solitary confinement in the Pelican Bay Security Housing Unit, known as the SHU, were reassigned to other prisons within the state. And out there, they had access to cell phones smuggled into prison. Mob members set about claiming territory and settling old scores. It was in this uproar that on December 27th of 2015, Hinojos, then 34 years old, was released from state prison. About 5 months later, a girlfriend called him from the Los Angeles County Jail. The call was recorded and played for the jury. They actually offered me this promotion, he said. I just have to kind of, F word, stack the cabinets a little faster, you know? To interpret Hino's remarks, prosecutors called Rene Boxer Enriquez, a member of the Mexican Mafia who defected in 2002, to the witness stand. He has since testified in dozens of lawsuits against his former accomplices, specializing in deciphering coded or veiled messages during phone calls, letters, notes, and other communications. When Hinojo said promotion, he meant that he had been offered to become a member of the MA, Enriquez testified. The need to stack the cabinets a little faster meant that before he was inducted, he had to take care of something, he said. The next morning, May 13, 2016, Hinojos met a group of men for breakfast at Denny's. One of them was Velasquez, who was described at trial as being affiliated with Compton's 155th Street gang. Hinojos said they were able to help Velasquez collect a $10,000 drug debt from Paramount's Dog Patch gang leader, Mario Snaps Chavarria, according to a witness who was at the breakfast. They left Denny's to look for Chavarria. Hinojos drove alone in a black Chrysler 300, the witness says. Velasquez was standing near a sidewalk at Paramount when the Chrysler pulled to a stop. He walked to the car and leaned out the passenger side window, and then a shot rang out. The sedan sped away. As he lay dying, Velasquez told sheriff's deputy that a Hispanic man in a black Chrysler had shot him, the deputy said. Prosecutors said nothing at trial about who might have ordered Hinojos to kill Velasquez. 6 hours after the shooting, Hinojos' girlfriend called his mother from jail, complaining that she had called him all day and nothing. It doesn't even ring. He got that promotion, Hinojos' mom said, so he's going to be offline for about a week. 3 days later, the girlfriend called Hinojos from jail and asked, "Congratulations or what?" He told her that he had got the job. "I finished the project myself," he said, "and I just have to wait for like all the documents basically to be filed." I'm reading it as he said it.
Basically a vote.
Yeah. Enriquez, the former member of the Mexican Mafia, interpreted this to mean that Hinojos had personally completed the task he was ordered to, that he had been sponsored to become a member of the Mexican Mafia and now was awaiting the results of the vote. Prosecution and defense witnesses agreed that Hinojos was now a member of the Mexican Mafia, and Enriquez said some of the most influential figures lobbied for Hinojos to be admitted. They included Jose Joker Gonzalez of East Side's Big Hazard gang, and Michael Mosca Torres, whom law enforcement officials consider the dominant member of the organization in the San Fernando Valley. Hinojos' attorney, Marvin Vallejo, admitted that his client was a gangster and a drug dealer, but refuted the idea that he killed Velasquez to join the Mexican Mafia. "Point me in the direction of the evidence that says it was because he killed Perico," he said, referring to Velasquez by his nickname. Vallejo criticized Enriquez, whom he dismissed as the rapist, the killer, the sex offender, the thief, a prisoner with an agenda, and his interpretation of his client's words. The former member of the Mexican Mafia testifies as if he were the Oracle of Delphi, said Vallejo, the only one who can find sinister meaning in an innocuous conversation. I don't know what that word is.
Interesting.
Each morning, as he was ushered into the courtroom by the bailiff, Hinojos, sporting a goatee and shaved head and dressed in a shirt, tie, and slacks, blew a kiss to his relatives in the audience, with whom he had not been able to see since he's been in the jail. A judge had barred Hinojos from receiving visits, mail, or phone calls from anyone except his lawyer.
Is that legal?
I don't know. That's interesting right there. We'll have to discuss that sometime. In a petition asking for relief from restrictions, Hinojos said he was confined to a one-man cell, 5 foot by 7 foot, except when taking a shower or going to the exercise yard. Even then, according to the petition, he was locked in a steel cage alone. County attorney said the strict containment was necessary. As one of the many members of the Mexican Mafia controlling the Los Angeles County jail system, they argued, Hinojos had used the PIN numbers of other inmates to make phone calls and had them send and receive mail in his name. Hinojos, they said, is the prime suspect in several ongoing investigations into other serious and violent crimes. Another murder loomed over at the trial committed after Hinojos was imprisoned on suspicion of killing Velasquez. Enriquez analyzed for the jury a video of a prison visit between Hinojos and another girlfriend, Patricia Aragon. He interpreted a snapping gesture from Aragon to mean she was talking about Chavaria, the gang member whose nickname was Snaps. And when she formed her hand into the shape of a mouth, Enrique said that she was bringing up the possibility that Chavaria was talking to the police. No, Hinojo said during the visit, don't trip. Enriquez took this to mean that Hinojos didn't believe Chavaria could cooperate with the authorities. Later in the conversation, Arigon told her, I don't care, it's just going to be banned. Later still, she told Hinojos, don't be surprised when that happens. A lawyer from Arigon who was charged in Hinojos in federal court for trafficking methamphetamines did not return a request for comment. Aragon pleaded not guilty to the drug charges. Amid the possibly illicit exchanges about Chavaria, the couple spoke about how Hinojos' incarceration would affect their relationship and their hope that she would get pregnant with his child. A witness who testified on Hinojos' behalf said he thought the whole conversation was about their personal lives, trust issues, they might have a couple. But then there's the fact of what happened to Chavaria. Hours after Arigon visited Hinojos' prison, Chavaria was gunned down outside his home at Paramount. Prosecutors said they had no reason to believe Hinojos ordered the murder. Nonetheless, he was recorded in his jail cell whispering to fellow Mexican Mafia member Daniel Danny Boy Pina, that his girlfriend had told him someone had been killed. I think that's a good thing, Hinojos said. I think things got more interesting. Excuse me, y'all. His apparent relief at the death of Chavaria, whom his girlfriend, at least according to Enriquez, had identified as an informant, was proof that he had killed Velasquez, prosecutors argued to the jury. Chavaria likely knew about the plot to kill Velasquez, authority says, but he was not an informant. The detective who investigated Velasquez's murder, Dean Camarillo, testified that he never spoke with Chavaria.
This is a crazy case, bro.
Very interesting.
You know what the thing that stands out to me the most is the interpretation of those codes, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I get it. I mean, you can assume listening to it, like, it's probably accurate how Enriquez interpreted it to a certain extent, but that doesn't always mean, that's not always the case.
No.
You would think with the
That's
evolution,
his opinion.
you get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you know, I think too much, man. Like, you know, he's been away for like over 20 years now, right? And you know, he's continuing to testify in other cases for whatever reason. I don't know what his reasons are behind this. It's not like it's really benefiting him too much besides getting out the cell. But there's a lapsed period of when he was active, when he was not active. And you know, with the stuff that he's doing now, I don't anticipate any actors giving him any information of current stuff of changes. You know what I mean? You know, as opposed to us, we have some people that tap in with us. You know what I'm saying? So we can get relevant information. Like we dropped it before in the past. A lot of stuff we don't expose on here. So that's the first thing though, man. Like the codes in general, you can't really substantiate that's a fact or not. That's his assumption. That's his thought. I don't know how they can substantiate that as proof in a case. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree, bro. I'm sure a lot of it is still, I don't know, I guess confidential or undisclosed. I don't know what more will come out, man, but you know, there's more people talking than even this article alludes to.
Yeah.
There's definitely more, way more. These people that they got, they're just the ones that the whoever's LAPD or the feds or whoever's investigating this, that's just the ones they went ahead and burned. You know what I mean? And said, okay,
yeah,
we have to use your shit. There's no way we could not disclose this. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on, but I mean,
I got an example to share
just
with
the
you.
fact that they would need, you know, Mr. Enriquez, boxer, to come in there, it makes me wonder how much. I mean, if I had confidence in my case, I'm not going to need somebody whose credibility could be questioned. You know what I mean? Like personally, I don't know.
I got
Seems
something
weird
for
to
you,
me.
right?
Yeah.
So there was a case back in that occurred like around 2007 when people got indicted in San Jose. They started talking, you know what I mean, a little bit too much on the tiers and so forth. And They ended up getting indicted, you know what I mean? Based upon several conversations, several letters, and so forth. I read through the transcripts where they said, oh, that the individual said, sell the gold rims and get 2 for them, right? Now, the detective that was running that investigation said that that was for drugs, that was for methamphetamine. Now, the individual that was alleged against was the individual named Shorty. I sold him those fucking gold Dayton rims. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I sold him those rims about a week before. He was trying to get rid of them to get money to help himself out. You get what I'm saying? So that's where I'm trying to go with there is sometimes as law enforcement try to scrutinize everything that you're doing, and then they try to put labels upon things. I mean, I read that in the transcript. I sold him those rims. They were some gold rims. And next thing you know, you got the detective on the stand who's a very well-known detective, you know what I'm saying that was code word for methamphetamine. When it wasn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, man, I'm just selling some rims, bro, in real life.
Yeah, they were really rims, bro. I mean, you know, I mean, as good as they are at deciphering codes, and sometimes people put ledgers that are pretty much self-explicit that you can read between the lines, but at the same time, even reading between the lines it's not concrete to me. Even though you and I know it's probably, you know, accurate when you see certain information. Okay, this is probably for dope. This is probably this is what he owes. This is probably a regiment, you know, crew list. You know what I mean? When I've seen certain cases where they put regiment members and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, man? You know what I'm saying? That should all be up right here. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, man, you know, the other thing that stood out to me was that he was a moneymaker. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they pretty much talked about that he expanded his reach. But their security must not be that bad because either they have more information, like you said, and they won't relinquish it, or they really don't know who called the shot on this hit.
Yeah. They don't. I mean, unless the person who did it says this person told me, and that is not necessarily the person who called it. That could be a relay. You know what I mean? Hey, could you tell such and such this? It could be 5 people away, bro. So all that speculation and shit, it's boo-boo. But yeah, hey, I remember just as far as that speculation about what things mean, I remember when the gang task force hit my cell in Quentin, the IGI, and they found like some just little scribblings I used to do, little graffiti and stuff. Nothing to do with no gang stuff. I think it said easy money or something, right, and you know, tagging, you know what I'm saying? And it had like little holes in some of the letters that looked like bullet holes. They tried to say in my validation packet that represents people that my gang have killed, bro.
Bro,
Yeah, I was like, what you talking about, bro?
You know, sometimes we write stuff out of books.
Yeah. I
had some concept of leaderships that were taken out of a book. They use that for validation, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, you can't. And see, what's a shame, bro, is a jury wouldn't necessarily know that. They're going to say, okay, well, this guy went to college for 4 years. He's been in the gang task force for 20. He's an author. He's a this. He's a that. He was a member. They're going to have all these qualifications. That dude could just be totally full of shit. But if he presents it in the right fashion for the jury to sound believable with his credentials, they're going to be like, oh yeah, I guess he's selling those rims, you know, like, come on, man.
You know, and I know this, right? The Riddle Code no longer exists. It's not supposed to be done.
Yeah.
Unless you're talking around some naive individuals and stuff, and you're trying to pass like, I mean, but other than that stuff is not supposed to be put out there like that.
Dude, you know what I would do? I'd tell him to beat feet. I'd be like, hey, hold on, I got to talk to the homeboy for a second.
You know what I'm saying?
Get stepping. You know what I mean?
You know, and you know, any type of really serious green light, it's not going to really be passed too much through well, if it's a serious green light, it's not going to be passed through a fucking code necessarily. It's going to have to come out with fucking clear instructions of why and who sanctioned it. You know what I mean? Which is not going to say who. It's going to say pretty much the mess I did or whatnot, right? But other codes, like if we're going to communicate in code, bro, I'm going to make something up. The codes are always supposed to be between you and that person that nobody knows. You know what I'm saying? You know,
exactly.
I got to go wash my car, right?
And look at my situation. That doesn't work all the time either.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Nobody's supposed to know the code. They're supposed to have the code, and when they get it, they're supposed to write out what you said and forward it to where they need to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I forgot about that. You know, I see some of the times the codes were like, I was looking at the codes I got one time that one was created, right? And the code for someone being deemed no good was hood rat. I go, they're gonna fucking know what that means. I'm like, we gotta do something better than
Yeah,
that.
that's going to be assumed negative. Period.
Yeah, exactly. You know, but you want to keep the code simple, bro. It's like to the, you know what I mean? You know, the ghostwriting stuff used to be kind of a little interesting, but they can pick up on that as well. The legal way was the way to go, bro, too. If you had access to an actual legal law company, you know what I'm saying? A law business where you can get their stamp and everything certified. You know what I mean? They can't prove it or discredit it. So that used to be done as well. But that's just a whole lot of fucking work to take a whole bunch of fucking case files and to fucking have a blank page and then retype everything in. So I had to do that one time, man, on some shit, man. I was like, man, you know, at least it was important shit. I will say that. It wasn't no fucking, oh, this is this and that. It was actually some serious shit. So
Yeah, nowadays with printers, computer scanners, it's a little bit easier, you know.
it's hella easier, man. Fuck,
Yeah.
you just fucking print the wheel out. Fuck, now you have phones, bro. Fuck that. That's the thing too that I noticed now. Having these phones, right? They're able to mediate all issues a lot easier now. Whereas before the communications would go back and forth and it'd be more of a power struggle of campaigning. Now you got what's cracking. Let me holler at you real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. I don't know. That case is interesting, bro. You know what I mean? Of course, they're gonna try to throw names and, you know, 2-letter names and, you know, big 3 names and the big hitters and that, because they're just they're looking for publicity. They're looking for more funding. You know, whether they got the case right or not, we'll never know. You know what I mean? Only that individual knows. But that was an interesting article. I mean, bottom line, that was interesting. A lot going on, you know.
The click, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've heard of certain individuals. I'm not even going to go into their business. I'm gonna stop there. But I've heard of something similar to that, where there's a couple of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. That's always going to happen. There's always going to be big homies in any group, whether they're supposed to be or not. I mean, we've talked about that many times. Popularity. What have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
Mouthpiece. Size of your neighborhood, influence. There's all kinds of things,
issues, bro. Money solves every issue, though. If you think about it, though, bro.
Hey, let's say for example that dude really got hit. If he had just won Powerball, you know, and dropped 10 million, he'd probably still be alive. You know what I'm saying? I mean, money, just like you said, bro. At the end of the day, there's only a couple things that'll bypass that. You
sure?
Yeah, there's a couple things you can do that they'll whack you regardless, bro. That I could think of, you know.
Put $1 million.
Maybe not, bro.
Put $1 million in my pocket real quick, bro. Fucking everybody's cleared. Fuck,
hey, that's why we're on YouTube, though.
Here's the Yabez, bro. You know what I mean? Here's the whole fucking resume, bro. $1 million.
All right, homies.
Don't question my authority, man. Don't question my authority.
Push, pros, try. We're out of here. We'll holler at you, bro. I'm taking a nap.
Bro, fucking $1 million, man. You create your own fucking little organization.
I want to point something out because like 3 people have said something. See how it looks like I have a booger right there? Look. It's just a reflection, y'all. You guys have me paranoid. I was all digging in my nose the other day, blowing my nose, but there was nothing. So I looked and I'm like, damn, it looks like I got a booger. So I decided to clarify so you guys can stop getting on my ass in the comments, man. All right? No booger. We're booger free.
I thought it was better when the background looked like you had a sombrero, bro. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
man, I had to move some things around a little bit. Plus, I got something happened to my other light. Now I got a real blinding light. Anyway, we'll be all right. Anyway, YouTube, it's your boy Rojo, man. Hey, glad it's April Fools, man. Y'all don't fall for no okey doke today. Very interesting article. Appreciate you guys checking it out. Be at you a little bit later. Have a productive ass day, man.